There seems to be some connectivity issues, but we'll try to navigate them. Okay, so as I can see, there are 6 people left who have not presented anything, and sorry, there are 6 people. Don't give me a 0. All right, so there are a few left. Tanya, roll number 25, your turn. Present. Yes, Tanya, can you hear me? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Tanya, your turn.
Ma'am, shall I start?
I already asked you 3 times to start. Come on.
So, Sairam, today from the first chapter of economics, I am going to tell you from first chapter of economics, that is development. I am going to tell you about UNDP, Human Development Report, Human Development Index, and Body Mass Index. So now let's begin. UNDP stands for United Nations Development Program. So basically, it is an UN organization which is formed in 1905. It aims to help countries to improve health facilities and education, and to remove poverty, which you will if see carefully. These all three factors are basically used to determine the level of standard of the people. So now UNDP publishes a report which is known as Human Development Report. This report compares countries on the basis of the following factors, that is educational levels, health status, and per capita income. Now, let's see what is Human Development Index. So, Human Development Index is defined as composite statistics used to rank countries by levels of human development. It has three indicators, that is life expectancy, gross enrollment ratio, and per capita income. Or we can say that these are the three pillars of Human Development Index. So, now let's see them one by one. So first we will see the formula to find HDI. So the formula to find HDI is life expectancy plus gross enrollment ratio per plus per capita income divided by 3. Now, what is life expectancy? So, it is defined as the average expected length of life of a person at the time of birth. Gross enrollment ratio, it is determined by the number of students enrolled in schools at different levels, that is primary, secondary and high secondary. Per capita income, it is defined as the total income of the country divided by its total population. Per capita income
Tanya, you went mute again. Tanya, we can't hear you. Tanya, your presentation did not complete. You went mute in the middle.
Ma'am, am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible now.
Okay, ma'am. 1 second. So, it's just my imagination how other currencies might think. So, okay, now let's move forward. So, we have studied that per capita income is calculated in dollars. Now, let's see the reason why it is calculated in dollars. So, here are the reasons because of which it is calculated in dollars. It is considered as a medium of the international exchange. Dollar is the largest used currency in the world and it is the established currency in the world. Now, here is some data regarding India and its neighbors for 2017. Here you can see the countries per capita income. Actually, it is not per capita income, it is gross national income per capita. Third column says life expectancy. Fourth is mean year of schooling of people. And fifth is SDI rank in the world. And it is out of 129 countries. Sorry, 189 countries, and India stood at 129th position. So now let's see body mass index. So body mass index is determined a person's weight in regard to his height, which as a result shows whether a person is undernourished, normal or overweight. The formula to find BMI is weight, which is calculated in kg, upon height, which is meter squares. You can see here is the classification. Underweight means below 18.5 kgs, normal 18.5 to 24.3, overweight is 25 to 29, and this is obsessed, which is 32.0 and to 48. So here you can see the range more carefully. If you want to take the screenshot, you can. And thank you. That's all from my side.
Okay. Next will be Roll number 2, Anmol.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Not, yes, it's visible.
Okay, Sai Ram. So today I am going to present my presentation from chapter number 4, Agriculture, in which we are going to understand the topic major crops and fiber crops which are grown in India. So first, let us focus on major crops. A variety of food and non-food crops are grown in different parts of the country depending upon the variation in soil, climate and cultivation practices. Major crops grown in India are rice, wheat, millets, pulses, etc. So this is the reason why different crops are grown in different parts of the country. So first, let us focus on rice. Rice is the staple food crop of majority of the people in India. So majority of people of India eat rice. India is the second largest producer in the world after China. Rice is an kharif crop. So it requires high temperature above 25 degrees Celsius and high humidity with annual rainfall of above 100 centimeters. It is grown in the plains of north and northern eastern India, coastal areas in the deltic regions. Development of dense network of canal irrigation and tube wells have made it possible to grow rice in the areas of less rainfall such as Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan. So because of a dense network of canal irrigation and tube wells, it is possible to grow rice in the area where there is not much high rainfall and there is no high temperature. So this is the map in which we can see the area which is in green color is the area where rice is grown in majority and white area is where rice is grown minorly. Now let's see what is wheat. Wheat is the second most important cereal crop. It requires main food crop in north and northern western part of the country. It requires cool growing season and bright sunshine at ripening time. Wheat requires 50 to 75 centimeter of annual rainfall evenly distributed over the growing season. Important wheat growing zones are Ganga Saltuj Plain and Black Soil region that is grown in Deccan Plateau. Major wheat producing states are Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan and some parts of Madhya Pradesh. Again in this map the area that is we are covering in dark pink area is the area where wheat is grown in a majority and the light cream colored area is where wheat is grown minorly. Now let us see what are millets. Jowar, bajra and rye are some of the important millets grown in India. Though these are known as coarse grain, they have high nutrition value. So millets have high nutrition value. Rye is rich in iron, calcium, other micronutrition and roughage. It is a crop of dry region and grows well on red, black, sandy, loamy and shallow soils. Karnataka produces the produces rye in the highest region, which is followed by Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand, and Arunachal Pradesh are some of the important rye producing states. Jowar is the third most important food crop with respect to area and production. It is a rain-fed crop which is grown in moist areas. Maharashtra produces the jowar in the highest number, which is followed by Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh. Maize is next major crop which is grown in India. It is used as both food and fodder. Maize is an kharif crop. So it requires temperature between 21 to 27 degrees Celsius and it grows well in alluvial soil. In states like Bihar, it is grown as rabi crops also. Use of modern inputs like HYV seeds, fertilizer, irrigation have contributed to increase the production of maize. Major maize producing states are Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Pulses. India is the largest producer as well as the consumer of pulses in the world. These are the major source of protein in our vegetarian diet. Major pulses grown in India are tuar, urad, moong, masoor, peas and gram. Pulses need less moisture and survive even in dry conditions. So pulses can survive in dry condition also. All these crops except arhar is tuar, which help in restoring soil fertility by fixing nitrogen from the air, because of which it is grown in rotation with other crops. Major pulses producing states in India are Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. So this is a map in which we can see that where on which all area major crops are grown. Now let us come to fiber crop. Cotton, jute, hemp, and natural silk are the four major fiber crops which are grown in India. The first three, that is cotton, jute, and hemp, are derived from the crops grown in the soil. whereas silk is obtained from cocoons of silkworm which fed on green leaf, especially mulberry. Rearing of silkworm for the production of silk fiber is known as cericulture. What is cotton? India is believed to be the original home of cotton plant, one of the main raw material for cotton textile industry. India is the third largest producer of cotton in the world. Cotton grows well in drier parts of black soil of Deccan Plateau. Cotton requires high temperature, light rainfall, 210 frost-free days, and bright sunshine for growth. Cotton is in Kharif crop, so it requires 8 to 10 months to mature. Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, and Uttar Pradesh are the major cotton producing states. Now jute. Jute is also known as golden fiber. It grows well on well-drained fertile soil in the floodplains where soils are renewed every year. Jute requires high temperature. Major jute producing states are Bihar, Assam, West Bengal, Orissa, and Meghalaya. So this was all about fiber crop. So these are the major crops and fiber crops which are grown in India. Thank you and Sairam.
Okay. Next, Vedika. Roll number 27, Vedika, your turn.
मैम 1 मिनट मुझे दूसरे डिवाइस से ज्वाइन करने दीजिए.
Okay, fine.
यस मैम.
Fine. In the meantime, she reconnects. Let's have another presentation. She's taking too much time, and that will be Lalit, rule number 11.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is screen visible?
Yes.
Power sharing among organs of the government. Legislature, executive, judiciary. Legislature, executive, and judiciary keep a check on each other. This results in a balance of power sharing among various institutions. This arrangement is also called an system of check and balance. Power sharing at different levels of government. Central government, state government, local self government. Power sharing among different social groups. Under this arrangement, government and administration gives space to the diverse social groups. In this way, minority communities get a fair share in power. Power sharing among political parties, pressure groups and movements. In democracy, different parties compete to come to the power. In case no party get majority, then two or more parties form an alliance to come to power and form a coalition government. Two example of power sharing: Belgium and Sri Lanka. Belgium. Belgium is a federal monarchy in Western Europe. It is a founding member of European Union and hosts the EU's headquarters as well as those of several other mm, major international organizations such as NATO. Belgium covers an area of 3 3,528 square kilometer and it has a population of about 11 million peoples. Ethnic composition: Belgium 59% of Dutch speakers, 40% of French speakers, 1% of German speakers. Brussels 20% of Dutch speakers and 80% of French speakers. Accommodation in Belgium. Constitution of Belgium states that the number of Dutch and French speaker ministers shall be equal in central government. Many powers of central government have been given to the state government. Brussels have a separate government in which party have the equal representation. There is the third kind of government called community government, which is elected by the people belonging to the one language community. Thank you.
Well, that was a pretty short presentation. Yes, Vedika, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is the screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Om Shri, Om Shri Sai. My topic is resource and development. Uh, Land resource. Natural resource. It supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport, and communication systems. Land under different relief features about 43% plains, 30% mountains, and 27% plateaus. Land resource. It is a pie chart of land resource under important relief features. Land use and pattern in India. Use of land determined by physical factor and human factor. Physical factor comes under topography, climate and soil types, and human factor come under population density, technology capability, culture and tradition. Land use data, however, is available only for 93% of total topographical area because the land use reporting for most of the northeast states except Assam has not been done fully. Also, some areas of Jammu and Kashmir occupied by Pakistan and China have also not been survived. Land degradation. The decrease in the quality of land due to human and natural activities which makes it unfit for cultivation is known as degradation. The causes and the solution of land degradations are causes are over irrigation, overgrazing, and industrialization, deforestation, and the solution are afforestation, control on over irrigation, control on mining activities, proper management of wasteland. Thank you and Sairam. Ma'am, that's all.
Well, I'm hoping that you knew that the presentation was supposed to be 5 to 10 minutes long. Why are you people not understanding a simple thing? Anyway, so I guess that will be all for today. And we will continue this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 presentations are left here on my list, and we'll try to finish them off as soon as we can. So that will be all for today. Thank you and sign off.